Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have the standalone pergola here, and just a couple of little things about it. We have this wind wall here. It's in a high wind area, I'm told. And also there's a polycarbonate rooftop on here. And that's about it. So let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions that I have. So overall dimensions, basically I have a 16 by 16 foot cover, and then roughly 13 from the outer edge to the outer edge of the post. Same with this direction here. I have this at 7 feet wide, and I don't have it all the way to the top here. I have some arbitrary measurements right now as far as the height is concerned. So the main part would be this beam coming across here, the bottom edge here. I have it 8 feet off the finished floor, and I think that's about it. Not quite sure about the distances of these pieces of wood up here and or the beams coming across here, how far apart they are. But I try to copy the image as close as I could with what I had. So let's go ahead and turn that off, and let's look at a couple of possibilities. So first of all, they did mention that, you know, when it gets down into the 60s and the wind starts to blow, it becomes very cold, and that's why they have this wind wall here. So they want to try to accommodate this area here with some warmth during those colder climates. And the only thing I can really say about temperatures is everyone is acclimated to their own environments, and when it gets down into the 60s and the 50s, that's where it's really based upon how much you can handle the temperatures that you're living in. So just bear that in mind. Personally, you know, when it gets in the 50s here in Southern California, for me, I like to have a lot of heat, but once it gets down past the 50-degree level, then pretty much it's kind of cold, and you need a lot more heat around you. So that's one thing. And then another thing is, you know, these heaters do not heat the air itself. These heaters are light waves, so it's like infrared, just like the sun. So if you're in the shadow of the sun, let's say, you know, this is, look over here. So if you're physically in the shadow here, you're not feeling the sun's rays. And if you're here in the sun's rays, you'll feel that warmth. Now, you don't want to over bake yourself by placing very hot units close to you, because that might be okay for, you know, 15-20 minutes, but after that point you start feeling like you just are getting, you know, roasted, and that's just not comfortable. So you want to make sure that you do something that is going to make you comfortable without overheating you. One thing I would just mention is, you know, because this is a high wind area, possibly placing some sort of screen mesh between these points here and this back of the, you know, behind here somehow. Placing a screen mesh back here, which would reduce the amount of wind coming through, would really help make that environment a little bit more comfortable for those conditions. So now going straight into my first recommendation. First recommendation would be to utilize something like this, which is the slimline units. Now you can see I have them placed, you know, quite a distance away from this edge over here, and I'm going to show you a different option here in a minute. So what I have is basically from center to center on the heaters. Let's just go ahead and measure that off real quick. From this point to this point, I believe is 7 feet. Yeah, so 7 feet center to center on the brackets, and I have them at about a 5 or 10 degree tilt towards the center of the area. Let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat, and you can see we have nice crossover rays, and we have a good coverage through this span here as well. Now these are 4,000 watt slimline units. I chose those units because of two reasons. Number one, when you angle this heater, you're allowed to use the OEM bracket at the 6-inch clearance that's above the unit itself. So here's your 6 inches of clearance. And then also there is a clearance of 18 inches off to the side and 36 inches down. And there's also 18 inches off this end here as well as this end here. Also, because of the configuration, or let's just say the length of the unit going this direction here, I'm getting a better footprint in this fashion here versus if I was to place them opposite on, say back here or over here, and I'll show you that in a minute too. So yeah, that's two of the 4,000 watt units. I think that for this height would be good. And now, will it make temperatures acceptable below that 50-degree level? That is, again, entirely up to you whether that's something that's comfortable or not. But I have good overlapping here arrays, so this area here would be fairly decent. And even though that the array itself is you can see the penetration here. This is the ideal, quote unquote, footprint of heat. The ray physically does come out further than what I'm showing here. It's just not the ideal amount, but when you have a lot of crossover here between the two heaters, that will make this area here much more comfortable without those crossovers. So let's see if there's a difference here. Let's go ahead and turn these off for a moment and look at another possibility. This is placing the heaters out on the edge. We need 6 inches of clearance over here on the left side and 6 inches of clearance on the right side over here. And by the way, both, let's see if I can get this over here, both of these units I have centered within this 16-foot span, so bear that in mind. And if you look here, you can see these brackets aren't attached, but these brackets do move left and right on this little channel here, so it slides to the left and right, so you can match up where exactly your ceiling joists are up here. So just bear that in mind. And let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat here. Now here I have this, I believe, at a 20-degree tilt to the left and then 20 degrees to the right here. And yes, the footprint of heat is fairly decent on this as well. It's just that this area over here and right here isn't going to be as evenly heated based upon the location. So if you're sitting right here, you're going to feel warm. If you're sitting right here, you're going to feel warm, but here is going to be a little bit less intense. And I believe that actually their sofa that they have is a little bit wider than my sofa. This is a 2-seat sofa, and I think they have a 3-seat sofa. So they're going to be placing, some units over, or some people are going to sit over here, one in the middle, and possibly one over here. That being said, if you're sitting right here, let's say, you're going to feel the same amount of heat approximately as this chair here. So that would be another option. And then the final point that I want to bring up is, they did talk about getting a hotter unit. And that hotter unit, let's see here. Oh, I want to go back here. I'm sorry. Let me just state this real quick. So I placed 2 units going this direction here, and I just want to show you the footprint. Let's say it looks okay here. It's about 12 foot from here to here. And of course, from this distance here, you're going to get an okay footprint of heat. But the exposure, again, that wind exposure is over here. And the ray coming this direction, if you can see if my little model here, I'm going to just move this model over just for an example. But if I was to move this model over, you wouldn't want to stand underneath this heater, and stay there, I should say. But it is a light wave, so the back of your body is going to feel that. The back of the couch is going to feel that, but the front is not going to have any exposure unless this ray here was traveling far enough to make that comfortable. So that's not my ideal location of the units themselves. So But in any case, you do need to maintain that clearance. And then I have 6 inches of clearance here. We also have this TV set here, and I would be a little bit concerned about that. So I'd probably move this unit over maybe to the next joist on the ceiling there, so that my ray is not penetrating that appliance there. So, but that would be another application. This was not my favorite, but yeah, this would work okay, and probably not for anything less than that 55 to 60 degree level. So let's go ahead and turn that off and look at the last option, which they requested for possibly placing CD models here. This is a CD 6024, and I'm just going to show you here the intensity of this is made for a little bit higher of an application. If this is truly 8 foot off the ground, again, this is the level I have, 8 foot off the ground. You can see that this is going to be about 7 feet 3 inches off the ground, the bottom edge here. So it's going to be a very hot unit. It's made for a higher application. You can see that this is the footprint of heat for the ideal position. So I probably wouldn't suggest that. And then also just another thing, the CD model, once you place the unit at an angle, let's say if I angle this to the right here, then you have to increase the clearance here by 6 more inches, and then that would bring the heater down to approximately 6 foot 9 inches, something of that nature, and that would be, in my estimation, kind of ridiculous. So I wouldn't recommend that. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve, and please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers, and we thank you so much for doing that. Have an excellent day.